ki jai, Shri Isopanisad ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gopinande. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Shri Isopanisad Mantra 3. Today is also a very auspicious day. It's the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We'll speak a little about him at the end. And also Gadadhar Pandit's disappearance day, one of the Panchatattva members. So please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're going to cover a little revision. What is the completeness principle? Who can tell us what is the completeness principle? No, that's the second question. What is the completeness principle? Huh? No.
With Krishna, everything is complete without Krishna.
So the completeness principle is stemming from the fact that Krishna is perfect and complete. You have to remember that. Krishna is perfect and complete. Whenever you hear about completeness, Krishna, if you had to ask a question, okay, who would you say is most complete? Krishna. Okay. And you can analyze, okay, is he complete in relation to wealth, beauty, fame, knowledge, renunciation, ugliness? Got you. Yes. Why is Krishna the most ugly? Yes. Death. Nobody wants to see death. It's ugly face. Everyone stay away. So
these are nature devotion, like all the qualities like forgetfulness and laziness as well is part of.
If it exists, it has to exist in Krishna. But it exists in Krishna in its perfection. Naughtiness, thievery, it's all coming from Krishna. Okay. Because the material world is a reflection, all the qualities are a reflection of what exists in the spiritual world. So ugliness exists here, ugliness exists there. But there, the ugliness of Krishna enhances the relationship with each other. So completeness means Krishna is complete and perfect. If he's complete and perfect, everything that emanates from him is perfect and complete. And Sri Isopanisad gives two examples. One is the material world in the sense that it has all complete facility for its function, and the living entity. It's got all complete facilities for the living entity, for the living entity's perfection. And if the living entity follows this or brings Krishna in the center, then the living entity becomes complete. Otherwise, the living entity will experience all forms of incompleteness. What is the iśāvāsya principle? Right. So the iśāvāsya principle stems from when we hear about iśāvāsya, then we should understand the fact that Krishna is the proprietor of everything. If he's the proprietor of everything, then it follows that everybody needs to accept what is allocated to them and the quota. Okay. If you don't, we're going to hear today what happens. If you do, then we heard last week what happens. Okay. And what was the benefit if you do from last week's? Yes, you can aspire to live for hundreds of years. Life will be very wonderful. Now, list examples of accepting or not accepting one's quota cited by Srila Prabhupada. What examples does Srila Prabhupada give in relation to quota? No, she gave that one, not Prabhupada, in the purport. Yeah. Right, so the first one was, Prabhupada talks about vegetarianism, or he talks about animal, eating meat, then vegetarianism, and then it says, but human beings shouldn't be proud of being vegetarian because their quota is not vegetables. The quota is not meat and the quota is not vegetables. The quota is Krishna Prasadam. Okay, which implies that anyone who does not eat Krishna Prasad, they're breaking the iśāvāsya principle. And they should read today's verse. What is going to happen? Okay, any other example? The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. So milk is not the quota for cows. It's the quota for human beings. She eats grass and straw. Grass and straw is quota for animals like cows, not for you. And human beings are not meant to quarrel like cats and dogs. Human beings are not meant to quarrel. They must be intelligent enough to realize the importance and aim of human life. They have to realize the aim of human life. Animals, they can fight. And what about spiritual life for animals? They don't need to bother about it. Okay. So how many people want to fight? Most people. And how many are not interested in spiritual life? So therefore, the result of them not following the quota, not following iśāvāsya principle, which we're going to discuss today, what do you think is the logical conclusion? Become animals. Okay, you don't want that, we'll give you a facility for it, no problem. Facility is not a problem, because remember, from completeness principle, all the living entities will get complete facility. So if you're not interested, we'll give you the complete facility. That's nature's law. Okay? If they do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all property they claim to be their own is stolen. So stealing property, not your quota. Okay? It's not your land, it's Krishna's land. It's not your house, it's Krishna's material. Like how many of us take this body to be ours? Everyone. So you're stealing. Okay. So in that way, you'll see, subtly, grossly, 1%, 100%, everyone is breaking this principle to some degree or other. He must offer everything for the Lord's service and partake only of the remnants of food offered to the Lord. Okay. If he accepts anything for himself, not his quota. Everything has to be done for Krishna. So, quota is not necessarily in terms of numeric, but specific aspects of quota. How human life is distinct from animal life. Human life has spiritual life, animals don't. Human beings have great intelligence, animals don't. I'm sure you've seen animals. Humans have the ability to question, animals cannot. From the previous verse, previous slide. Hmm? Yeah, animals can fight, human beings not. Humans accumulate karma, animals don't. Human life is a life of responsibility. If you don't want responsibility, like, I don't like, I hate responsibility. Okay. Prabhupada used the example in the purports about pigeons mating. See? So people want to mate, no problem. Get a body of a pigeon. People don't want to take responsibility, not a problem at all. Nature will say tatastu. We give you body of animal. Because in a body of animal, no responsibility. Given high intelligence to realize the importance and aim of human life, not meant to quarrel, message of Godhead can be delivered to human beings, not to animals. Although we have Krishna conscious animals also around the planet. Liable to punishment on transgressing the law of nature. Animals don't transgress the laws of nature. Animals don't get karma. Okay, they burn off karma, they cannot incur karma.
Does the demigods fall under human?
8.4 million. So the 400,000, they all fall in that category. Reaction also? Yeah. So the demigods, they placed in for higher position and higher responsibility. They decide, if they neglect it, they decide, oh, I'm not interested. Okay, no problem. Yeah. I mean, Indra became a hog, because he, obviously there was a reaction, but like that, you're negligent, you'll get suitable body. Right. Must offer everything in service of the Lord. Disregarding the law of nature will incur sin. So animals really cannot incur sin. What is the root of all sin? Desire. Forgetfulness of Krishna. From Sri Isopanisad. And the purpose of Sri Isopanisad, what does Prabhupada say? We covered it twice already. It was in my previous quiz also. Start with the O. Yes. Disobedience. They're not obedient. Prabhupada says, last week's purport, the root of sin is deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Disobeying the laws of nature or the order of the Lord brings ruin to a human being. Okay, so Prabhupada summarizes very nicely the root of sin, and if you're sinful, you get punished. So you could say the root of all suffering is deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature. You know that you're disobeying the Lord. And how? You're disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Because the Lord owns everything. If the Lord owns everything, immediately it means, I need to. It's like, there's a proprietorship of the company. So you say, you have a nice chair, I need some at home. Take some. You can't do that. Just because it looks nice and it's here, doesn't mean you can just take it. No, it belongs to someone. The guard is going to stop you, right? You say, sorry, what you doing? You're stealing. No, it's there. Sorry, doesn't work like that. So when you understand there's a proprietorship, there's somebody in charge, you cannot just grab.
Well, obviously, the obedience, not as like devotional service and service. So sometimes we can do something like the company, we can do something for the company because we're going to get something done. But when it comes to devotional service, how can we understand that? Like, because devotional service is doing strictly.
Yes. So there's Sakam Karma Yoga, there's Nishkam Karma Yoga. There's doing service for some motive and doing service for no motive. And you progressively purify your life, because in the beginning you may do service you like. Like a doctor, we normally give in the yoga ladder course, we give the example of a doctor. So You go to the doctor, the devotee goes and visits the doctor and tells the doctor, please come peel some potatoes. And the doctor will say, you're crazy, eh? You need some medication or something.
Use a knife to operation.
He's not going to come and do potato cleaning with his knife, no. So the devotee, the doctor will say, listen, yeah, thank you for the invite, but no thanks. Yeah, here's a donation for you. I'm a doctor and I'm happy to be a doctor. Here's a donation for you. So he gives a donation, right? He was not interested in cutting potatoes for Krishna. He was interested in being a doctor. He's attached to being a doctor. But he started his spiritual life because he gave a little of his hard-earned money, fruits to Krishna. So his spiritual bank account increases. So the devotee visits him regularly like that, gives him mangal sweets, slowly purifies him. Then, after some time, the devotee visits him, and the doctor says, you know what? If any devotee gets sick, just call me, free service. So first, he was just giving a donation. If a devotee got sick, they had to pay. Now he's giving donation and he's saying free service. Any devotee come out, no problem, on his cost. Okay, so now he's still attached to being a doctor, but now he's giving his service without remuneration, little purified. Then he does, if devotees get sick, he helps them, he's getting more mangal sweet, the devotee visits him, he gives donation, purifying, getting more advanced. Then a devotee visits, says, there's Rath Yatra festival, please come. Yeah. Because now he's slowly getting purified. So now he comes for the festival, but he's still coming as a doctor, coming to the festival. Then he gets more purified. Eventually he'll get more purified to now come to the temple. And when he comes to the temple, now he'll ask the devotees, or the devotees will engage you and do some service. Yeah, what service? We're going to cut potatoes. Okay, let's go. So now he's cutting potatoes. So from being attached to I'm a doctor, to now not being attached to being a doctor, to understanding that I'm a servant of Krishna and I can do any service for Krishna. One will get purified as one progresses. So however we can engage people, we engage them. And as they progress, they will then give up that upadhi, give up that designation, give up that attachment. Some people do service for pratishtha. Like, I'm a pujari. So if the president comes, a hired pujari comes, can you do the Sunday arti? What time? It's midday. Oh no, midday is good. Yeah. Okay, midday is good. Because some temples have it. So midday is good. But if he told you 4 o'clock, nobody's there to see me. Boring. But midday, the main arti, everyone is there, So I'll wear my nice, everything's iron, my Brahman thread must show, and my tattoos and everything, and everything is very robotic and, see, and he's checking, okay, who's watching. So it's not worried about the arati, that's secondary. Pratishtha is first. Yeah. See, so he was requested to do service at 4, no, because nobody's there to watch me. See, so he's doing service, but for some goal.
Yeah. It is still regarded as obedience.
Correct. Because remember, obedience, you can have minute little obedience, right? Or complete obedience. Yeah. I can be little obedient. I'll do the arati, but on my terms. Yeah. Total obedience is what you want, and I'll do. Okay. So we do have grace shades of obedience. Because remember, surrender is not just I'm surrendered. Surrender is a gradual process of surrendering completely. I'm initiated means you started surrendering. Complete surrender means dedicated totally to Krishna. You're practically giving up your independence to Krishna. So that's total obedience. Yeah, until you don't have pure love of Krishna, then the obstacles are there. Right. Define. So there's Krishna said, just surrender unto me, I will deliver you. That's total surrender. Define karma, vikarma, and akarma. And how would you categorize work done in the iśāvāsya conception?
Karma is destructive actions that we do. The karma is actions that are forbidden, prohibited, and our karma is actions that are prescribed by us.
No, so karma is prescribed duties. Vikarma is not prescribed, prohibited, and karma is devotional activity. Means no. So remember, karma means action that will give you some reaction, but it'll give you some good pious reaction. Vikarma means negative reaction, which means sinful activities, negative reaction. Karma means no reaction, and only devotional activity produces no reaction. And how would you categorize work done in the concept iśāvāsya conception? Means akarma, because you're actually doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Why everyone desires to live as long as possible? To enjoy? No. Because we're eternal beings. Yes. Because by nature, the spirit soul is eternal. So naturally, you want to, that intrinsic quality comes out. What is the greatest danger of life and how one becomes trapped? What is the way out? So karma bandha is a Sanskrit of being trapped. But what is the greatest danger of being bound? So what's the greatest danger of karma bandhana? Yeah, you fall down to the lowest pieces of life. You lose the human form. You lose the opportunity of human life. That's the greatest danger. And what is the way out? Attachment to Krishna, akarma, devotional activity. Yes. Okay, mantra 3. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavrita tamste pratyabhigachanti yake chatmahano jana. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavrita tamste pratyabhigachanti ye ke chatmahano jana. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavrita tamste pratyabhigachanti ye ke chatmahano jana. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. So the killer of the soul, that's Atma-hana. Atma-hana. Atma means soul, hana means kill, the killer of the soul. And it says whoever he may be. You may be the president, you may have, prestigious position, no prestigious position, doesn't matter who you are, whoever you may be. The law is explicit and the law is unbiased. It will impact everyone. If you're a killer of the soul, it's going to impact you. And according to the verse, the reaction is they must enter the planets known as the world of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. Okay, planets that are definitely not conducive for enjoyment. So how living in disharmony with iśāvāsya principles harms the living entity? This is in essence what this verse is about. So this, if you had to summarize this verse, like the invocation, if you had to summarize that, what would you say? The principle of completeness. Then verse 1, the iśāvāsya principle. Then verse 2, accepting your quota. and the benefit of that. Now, verse 3 is what happens if you don't accept your quota. That means you don't follow the iśāvāsya principle. So how living in disharmony with that principle will harm the living entity. And we see this is what the sages, this is what the pure devotees propagate, preach, or educate people about. The classic example in the Bhagavatam is Mrigadhara the hunter. So he's a hunter, even though he's thinking that I am responsible and I'm serving my family by providing them food through killing animals. So he was thinking that he's doing something dutiful and he's been a responsible householder. But there may be some fraction of truth there, but in his activities, there were many areas that he was breaking the iśāvāsya principle. Okay. Name one or two. Right, he was half killing the animals, causing pain. Another one? He was killing animals. It's not his diet. It's not their diet. He's meant to offer, he's meant to have prasad. Okay, so he was breaking the iśāvāsya principle. And Narad Muni, noticing that, was compassionate enough to stop him and educate him of the danger of what he's doing. And Narad Muni said, you're going to suffer, you're going to be born as the animals and suffer the same pain. And it's a long story. He goes and asks his family, and he says, no, they're going to share my karma. Okay, no way it says about sharing. You perform the activity, you're going to get the reaction. So then he goes to them and he asks them, won't you share the reaction? They said, sorry, we didn't tell you to go kill. You must provide. How you provide, that's your problem. We're not going to be part of this. So he got a reality shock. And Narad Muni then brought him to the iśāvāsya principle, how to live with Krishna in the center. So he started chanting, worshipping Tulsi, totally transformed his life. He broke his bow and depended on the Lord and had enough for maintaining his life. And eventually, one time when Narad Muni and Angira Rishi came to visit him, they saw how he didn't want to even kill the ants on the pathway. So from killing animals, half killing animals, to not even killing an ant. This is the transformation from not following iśāvāsya principle to following the iśāvāsya principle. So in the first paragraph of the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about Sura and Asuras. And Prabhupada says, human life is distinguished from animal life due to its heavy responsibilities. So human life is a life of responsibility. You cannot avoid that. Okay. Somehow or other you have to be responsible. And Prabhupada doesn't say responsibility, he says heavy responsibility. It is a very grave responsibility when you get a human form. Because if you misuse that human form, you glide back down in the cycle. If you take advantage of the human form, you can actually stop the cycle. So that's why it's a grave responsibility. It's like, of all the grades in school, which one do you think is the most, that has the heaviest responsibility? Matric. Okay, because that's where, it's the toughest, and that's a transition to your next stage in life. Those who are cognizant of these responsibilities and work in that spirit are called Suras, or godly persons. And those who are neglectful of these responsibilities, or who have no information of them, are called demons, Asuras. So if you know about the iśāvāsya principle, Sura. If you don't know, demon. If you follow, Sura. If you don't, Asura. Okay, divine and demonic. The word Asura, Asu means breath, and Ra means enjoy. Breath comes from the body. So one who enjoys life, one who enjoys the body, one who just lives and breathes to enjoy, is asura. Human life is not meant simply for enjoyment. Okay? Human life is meant to be lived responsibly. It's like, parents. Can we say parenting is a heavy responsibility? Yeah. It's very grave and very responsible. You can't say, okay, I got a child. Yeah, you hungry? It's okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow, we feed you tomorrow. Okay, it's okay. You're tired? You want a good bath? No? Okay. Be dirty. It's okay. Yeah. We don't have money to take you to school? Stay home. Be dumb. That's definitely not a responsible parent. Now, what would just like a parent would educate and try to convince the child of education, that's the same thing Narad Muni was doing to Magrari the hunter. That's what the devotees do to the souls who are ignorant. And they explain to them that this is important how you live. Because if you don't go, the parents will tell the child, if you don't go to school, you will not be educated. If you're not educated, you will not be able to earn. And that way you will suffer in life. You'll be a hobo in the street, you won't have food, you won't have shelter, and you'll suffer. Therefore, it's important to get an education. Similarly, the devotees will tell and educate people that if you don't surrender to the Lord, you don't follow iśāvāsya principle, you don't accept the Lord as proprietorship, as a proprietor of everything, then you will suffer the consequence. So we want to be suras and not asura. We may have tendencies, so that means it's not about, I'm a devotee. No. Let's take each second of your life and analyze each second of your life. And if each second you are devotee, you are asura, then for that 1 minute, for that 1 hour, for that day, you are asura. For that week, you are asura. Then for few months and few years and one lifetime, you are asura. But if for those few seconds, few minutes, few hours, you are asura, then that means you're not a sura, you also are mixed. You also have demonic qualities. Okay, so both divine and demonic tendencies exist in a conditioned soul. In the previous ages, the demonic and the divine were separate. Qualities were separated. They were in separate individuals, not in the same individual. Kali Yuga, they both these qualities are in one person. So we can be sura and asura. The goal is to increase the divine qualities, divine tendencies, to become completely sura. That means completely dedicated to the iśāvāsya principles. No deviation whatsoever, not even a fraction. Because that fraction can cause danger. Okay.
Demigods, because now it's reminding me of this. So the demigods are suras, they've got.
Yes.
And now this verse of soul can go back, soul, the kill of the soul,
Yes.
will enter into the alley or of the faithless. The higher planetary systems, do they practice? Because now obviously when as much piety as you can use, this life might get heavenly body over. So how
is this verse applicable to them?
Yes.
So your piety will take you there and you become a demigod. Right? When you become a demigod, you will live, because of that piety, you will have license to enjoy. Now, generally, most people who go to heavenly planets, they perform, they live in heavenly planets, they get facility, and the piety decrease. When the piety now becomes extinguished, just before it becomes extinguished, little left to give you a material body, you come back into the earth planet and you continue your life. But you could, in the heavenly planets, right, decide to be a little more, dangerous, be more, demonic. That means you could also have tendencies that could be asuric. And that tendencies that, like for example, there may be tendency to be disrespectful. And we find that in many, pastimes where, Indra's son, Upen, what was his name? Giant. So Giant, he became lusty over Sita. So you can get, and Lord Ram punished him. See, and he became a demon because of that. So you can get, demigods that deviate. They become disrespectful. They, break the rules of the heavenly planets, and they get reaction. And they will get reaction either instantly or after the piety extinguish, and then they take birth again.
So those planets with the high planets, is that also regarded as the planets of faithless? Because like some people, they only practice, I'm not sure if they practice, but from my understanding,
yes,
you don't make it.
So planet of faithless could be any planet, right, that doesn't have Krishna as the center. Could be the top, could be the bottom. Yeah.
And still, Krishna says from the highest. So,
and there are some planets, so even the heavenly planets, the lower, so we got Earth planet, then we got planets just above Earth, so they're heavenly planets. Then you get higher planets, Janaloka, Tapaloka. Like in Tapaloka, there's absolutely no deviation. Okay, all the devotees in Tapaloka are completely absorbed in meditation and focusing on Krishna. So there are even planets within the heavenly realm that have influence of faithlessness, you could say. And it's not like the hellish planets, they're not interested in Krishna. The heavenly planets, they accept Vishnu. Okay, they accept Vishnu as the master, but they succumb. So they have some circum tendencies. So it wouldn't be classified as faithless as the lower planets. But if you had to classify, that means they don't have total, complete faith. That they are eternal servants of Krishna and they're meant to only serve Krishna without any motive, whether it's jnana or karma. They may not be on that level. Yeah. But definitely, if you have to look at it holistically, yes, any place in the material world where there's no total dedication of Krishna, or Krishna is not completed the center, then that's deviation from the iśāvāsya principle. Then Prabhupada then continues, intelligent human beings must always remember that the soul obtains a human form after an evolution of many millions of years in a cycle of transmigration. So if one is intelligent, one will get this. That I've come so far and I have this human form of life. And not only that, but I'm also exposed to this knowledge. It's extremely fortunate, extremely rare. So therefore, let me take full advantage. The material world is sometimes compared to an ocean, and the human body is compared to the solid boat designed especially to cross this ocean. Now you will find that this is unique for Earth planet. Because in the heavenly planets, it's very difficult to practice spiritual life. Life is too good. In the hellish planets, it's very difficult to practice life. Life is too bad. Earth planet is good and bad. So you go through your up and down, but at least you can breathe and you can survive, and it gives you some realization that, hold on, I think I need to, get myself out of this mess. Okay? So it's not like, if you go preach to someone in the heavenly planet, surrender to Krishna, he'll laugh at you. Because what's wrong with you? Well, life is cool. Yeah. And if you read, Prabhupada was commenting on the 5th canto, the devotees were reading the 5th canto of all the nice things that happen in the heavenly planets. Like in the Quran, they talk about, paradise and different things that you get there. So when the devotees were reading that, they were getting, it's a nice place to go. Huh? See, you're starting to develop the seed, the desire to go. Then Prabhupada stopped, giving purports to those, verses. Yeah. And, because it's dangerous. You start reading what's there and you think, wow, that's a nice place to be. I mean, just for concert, there's no, there's no 9 months pregnancy. There is no babyhood in heavenly planets. You want a child, you'll conceive a child, and instantly you conceive, you're pregnant, you give a birth, and the child 16 years youth. Instantly. No trouble at all. So you get the pleasure of, conceiving a child, but no headaches of raising a child. There is no old age. Nobody grows old in the heavenly planets. Old age is instant to death. So as soon as time is up for you, you'll instantly grow old and die. Okay, so like that, there's many, and there's license for enjoyment in different facilities, different ways. So it's very difficult to practice spiritual life there. Unless you're a devotee, coming from earth planet is very difficult. And hellish planets, it's traumatic and it's very difficult. So earth planet is suitable. Okay, earth planet is the best for practicing spiritual life. Within earth planet, to be a human being is the best. Because only in the human form can you actually practice spiritual life. No other species. So if you have a human form in earth planet, brilliant. First class. And what to talk about in earth planet as a human being in Kali Yuga, worst of the ages. Triple bonus. Because in the other ages, you had to perform severe austerities, penances, meditation, opulent deity worship. Kali Yuga, you chant Hare Krishna. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy. It's the most powerful. Gives you the benefit of everything plus more. You can't ask for anything better. And then you took birth in Kali Yuga, just 5,000 years into Kali Yuga when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just appeared around the corner. Then you took birth just when Srila Prabhupada was sent. You're not going to get a better opportunity in your existence ever. If you miss this boat, what can we say? Yes.
Just out of all of this, Vrindavan, where all traffic,
Yes.
on this planet, it doesn't appear any other than we sit from one universe to the next universe. So,
Yes.
out of all the planets in the whole universe, basically, in this earthly, our planet, or
So Krishna, Shamsundar Krishna takes birth in Vrindavan, Navadvip, Mayapur. But he can appear in every species. He appears in every species, in every part of the creation. Okay. Yeah. So it's not like he will only take birth in Vrindavan. He can take birth in any place. Like, for example, Indra's son, giant. So giant was an expansion of Krishna. Okay. So you get different types of incarnations, and they can appear in any part of creation. But Swayam Bhagavan generally would only appear in the holy dhams on the earth planet, because that's the door to go back to the spiritual world. It's like in a building, right? It's like here in the building, we only have two doors, either down that side or this side. Okay, that's the only way out. You can jump off, it's a little dangerous. The normal way is the normal exit door. So in the material creation, Vrindavan, Mayapur, they are the doors that allows you to go out. Yeah. So generally in every universe in Vrindavan, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, they appear in Boma Vrindavan, which is non-different from the spiritual world. In other parts of the universe, they can appear in different features or expansions. Yeah. Different incarnations and different species. So for example, Matsya, he didn't appear in Vrindavan. He appeared in the ocean. Yeah. Okay, Vara, from nostrils in the sky. So like that, different incarnations can appear different times, different ways. But Shamsundar Krishna, in his personal feature, appears in Vrindavan. The Vedic scriptures and acharyas or saintly teachers are compared to expert boatmen, and the facilities of the human body are compared to favorable breezes that help the boat ply smoothly to its destination. So really, we have a perfect boat with perfect breezes, perfect boat, expert boatmen that are taking us, coaching us, leading us. So everything is favorable for us to cross this ocean of material existence. And to cross this ocean is not easy. In fact, it is insurmountable. Right? Without a boat, you can't cross the ocean. You could be the best swimmer in creation. You can drop you in the middle of the ocean, and you're not going to survive. Okay, you need help. The only way, if you're dropped in the middle of the ocean, the only way you can survive if somebody picks you up. So all these facilities, the human form, the breezes, boatmen, they're all given to us by Krishna. And therefore, Prabhupada says, one who's intelligent, he'll take advantage. He'll remember this and take advantage. And in Kali Yuga, unfortunately, not many people are intelligent. But if somebody is not intelligent, it's like how many of us were intelligent to understand this from birth? It's very rare. Prabhupada was intelligent because he was brought up by those who were intelligent and who knew the purpose of life. We may not have been that fortunate, but somehow or other, those who were intelligent associated with us or gave us Prabhupada's books or connected us to Prabhupada, and that gave us some intelligence. We either ate prasad, read something, came to some program, and that association gave us some sukriti, gave us some devotional piety credits, so that we could trigger some brain cells and think, this makes sense, this is interesting. Never thought of it like that. I think I need to get my act together. And then slowly one begins to follow these principles. So just consider, the iśāvāsya principle says that if somebody doesn't follow, they're killing the soul, right? And they are doomed. What if you know the principle and you don't follow? Then if there's something called more doom than doom, and that's where you're going to go. See, so that's why you're in a more dangerous situation than if you didn't come for classes. Just like Srila Rupa Goswami says, if you don't want to lose your friends, if you don't want, to lose your material, prosperity and situations and desires, then don't see the, this bluish, blackish boy on the bank of Yamuna. But most people who get exposed to Rupa Goswami already saw the bluish, blackish boy. So in this way, the acharyas will make this point. But it's not like, okay, I'm not perfect, therefore I'm doomed. No. The mercy of Srila Prabhupada is that we should at least know, and then we should give it our best shot. We should try our best. And even if the best means you're slipping, that's okay. If you did your best, that's what Krishna sees. That's what Prabhupada sees. If you can do better and you're not doing, then that becomes a fault. But if you give your best, that's mercy.
To play devil's advocate, what happens if someone may say that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains the soul can never be burned, can never be destroyed in every way, it's indestructible, etc.
So how can you kill the soul?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get there. Okay. Right. We're getting there now. Killer of the soul. So if with all these facilities that we mentioned, okay, a human being does not fully utilize his life. How much? Fully. Not partially, not little, not few hours, fully. Utilize his life for what? For self-realization, not sense gratification. he must be considered Atmaha, a killer of the soul. Sri Isopanisad warns in clear terms that the killer of the soul is destined to enter into the darkest region of ignorance, to suffer perpetually. Okay, so Prabhupada is making very clear in this purport that really our goal is to strive to be fully Krishna conscious, to put self-realization as the priority of our life. And if we do this, using all the facilities, we will not be killing the soul. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes it very clear that you cannot kill the soul. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dati pavaka. You cannot burn the soul, you cannot cut the soul, you cannot wither the soul, you cannot wet the soul. So if the soul cannot be killed, then why does it say ya atmaha, killer of the soul? The soul's nature is to be a servant of Krishna. The soul's nature is to be spiritually engaged in devotional activity. So if you're destroying that constitutional activity, you're destroying, or you're not interested in spiritual life, in spiritual activity, in devotional life, in the nature of the soul, in the activities of the soul, you're the killer of the soul.
Fully utilize life without realization. So, like, we have some karmas, ones that are yet to fructify and ones that are coming from previous lives. How can we, I mean, because the karmas are coming through and habits also follow through. So how our life, if our bad habits are still following us?
Right. So remember, this is not an instant journey. Even though people want instant coffee, instant this, instant that in Kali Yuga, this is not instant, sorry. It's not going to be, okay, right, tomorrow we're devotees. Get out, we wake up in the morning and I'm a devotee. No. It's going to be a slow and gradual process. And a bumpy road. In fact, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj doesn't only say bumpy road. He said it's that the road to the spiritual world is laid with thorns. So it's not going to be an easy journey. Okay, but the beauty is, even though spiritual life may be difficult and challenging, material life is impossible. So I would rather choose the difficult one than the impossible one, because impossible means you'll never succeed in material life. Right? There is no light at the end of the tunnel in material life. If somebody says, no, don't worry, things will get better, there will be light at the end of the tunnel in the material world, they're dreaming, they're hallucinating. Yeah, they will never be, because the material world is designed not to be. Okay, that's what makes it perfect. So the beauty is, if I get on the spiritual path, it's gradual. Right? Therefore, one of the qualities in active instruction, utsaya nishchar daryat. I have to be enthusiastic, I have to be confident, and patience. I need that patience, because it's not going to happen overnight. And while I'm patient, material life is material life. Right? People around me are not devotees, because I have to be in the ocean of material existence. So I have to tolerate that. That's why Krishna tells Arjuna, tam stitiksha bharata. You have to tolerate. Okay, the urges of the senses. You have to tolerate the demands. And in this way, continue practicing while tolerating. And slowly, gradually, it'll become easier and easier. Yeah. So fully means that's my intention. I don't want to be 25% a devotee. My intention is I want to fully surrender. I want to be with Krishna completely in my original service. So I want to, go back to the spiritual and be reinstated in my service. That's my intention. It may take 1 life, 2 lives, few lives, many lives, million lives, no problem. Okay. How many lives, that's not really up to me. What's up to me is my intention to fully realize my relationship with Krishna and to fully surrender. Then leave the result result to Krishna. Because if Krishna wants, he can give it to tomorrow, or he can stretch it. That's up to him, because I'm his servant. How he decides, it's up to me. Just like the master may have 5 servants, and the master may tell one servant, okay, tomorrow you're fine with me. What about the others? No, you relax, you stay. When your time comes, So like that, Krishna is our master, so he can decide when he wants to take, who he wants to take, and how he wants to take. Our goal is to understand this and to fully surrender to the process with our bad habits. So our habits will be there, our karma will be there, no problem. The fact that you have the intention to surrender, then your karma, Prabhupada gives the example, is like the fan. It's moving. But then you pull the plug out. As soon as you pull the plug out, is the fan moving? It's moving, but it's slowly slowing down. It's taking its time, but eventually it'll slow down. If you plug back in, it's going to gain momentum, right? So we don't want to plug back in. Pull it out, leave it out, be happy, right? Even though your hands may itch, and it's like, I need to plug it. No, don't plug it, just leave your hands. Don't touch the plug again. You got that far, right? It's like, if we come to Srila Prabhupada's shelter, it's like your toe is touching the spiritual world's door. You're right there. Don't turn back. It's just a matter of getting past that doorway. Okay, we're close to that. And if you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you'll see many places, even Prabhupada's letters, even with difficulties, Prabhupada, will overlook that because of his compassion, his mercy. If you surrender to his mission, you do what he wants us to do, then whatever shortcomings are there, Krishna and Prabhupada will resolve those shortcomings. Okay, or in fact, you could say Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj that if anyone because Prabhupada knows what it takes to be Krishna conscious in Kali Yuga. It's not easy. So Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj, if someone dedicates their life to service to Krishna, giving up sense gratification, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, that itself is a sinless platform. That itself is, an achievement. Imagine not eating, anything but Krishna Prasad, not engaging in any sense gratification activities. If one can do that, that's an exalted level. That's a great sacrifice. And Prabhupada said, if somebody does that, Krishna notices that sacrifice. See? In Act of Instruction, one of the qualities of Krishna is grateful. And Prabhupada defines gratitude in relation to Krishna. Gratitude is that any benevolent activity that is done to a friend, that friend will never ever forget. That is grateful. So Krishna remembers all our services eternally. And Krishna becomes indebted to our activities. So, Prabhupada says, if somebody does that, Krishna notices. Even if everyone around you don't notice, it's okay, Krishna notices. And at the time of death, Prabhupada said, whatever shortcomings you have, whatever difficulties you have, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will reconcile those. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have noticed the sacrifice that you have taken to be Krishna conscious, to surrender to him. So Atmaha really means killing spiritual life, not putting spiritual life as priority. If you're not putting spiritual life as priority, that means you kill off the soul. Soul is eternal, never die. But the spiritual nature of the soul can be totally covered and destroyed if you don't put Krishna in the center. Any questions on that point? Okay. importance of human life. So now Prabhupada asks a question. Why is a man given a better life than that of a swine or other animals? Why is a highly placed, so Prabhupada is answering the first question with another question. Prabhupada is saying, why is a highly placed government servant given better facilities than that of an ordinary clerk? Why is a governor officer paid more than a clerk? Because he's got greater responsibility. The greater your responsibility, the greater your pay. Right? The greater the pay, the greater the responsibility. The greater the pay means greater response means greater facility. So human beings have greater facilities of understanding, of intelligence, of discriminative power. Therefore, greater responsibility. The answer is that a highly placed officer has to discharge duties of a higher nature. Similarly, the duties human beings have to perform are higher than those of animals, who are always engaged in simply feeding their hungry stomachs. Yet the modern soul-killing civilization has only increased the problem of hungry stomach. So here Prabhupada is telling us, why will it be difficult to practice spiritual life in Kali Yuga? Or is it very, very easy? Because you are in a soul-killing civilization. That's why. You are exposed. Yeah, you are bombarded. You are flooded with a soul-killing atmosphere. In Kali Yuga, people are not interested in spiritual life. They're not interested in Krishna. They're interested in enjoying. They may be interested in this, they're actually interested in the same activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending the animals are doing, but more polished way, with technology, more sophisticated. We fight with nuclear weapons and missiles, and animals just fight with their claws and teeth. Fighting principle is the same. So the danger of falling prey to things that are against, that are practically against the iśāvāsya principle, or those things which are killing the soul, is very, very easy. In fact, now in today's age, you actually hand over the soul-killing civilization to a child through a cell phone. And you have to put data, right? Because you can't give a child a cell phone, there's no data. How the child's going to connect to WhatsApp and internet? See? So you put the data on it and you give the child, here's the soul-killing civilization. Does the child have access to the whole universe, or rather the whole planet, Earth planet, through the internet? Yes. And what's on the internet? Only Krishna conscious material. You won't find anything dangerous for your spiritual life. Okay, you go to the wrong site, you're in trouble. Because that wrong site will make sure it'll load other sites. That will deter you completely and distract you from Krishna consciousness. If you do a wrong search, you may get so much blasphemous information of devotees, etc., and you may get completely destroyed. Your spiritual life may be destroyed. So, these things are there in the world, on the internet. So one has to be very careful of how one uses technology. It's not the tool that's dangerous. It's the consciousness behind the tool. But you have access. And if you're curious, that can kill the cat. That can kill the soul, Atmaha. So we have to be very careful. So we have to discharge our human life very responsibly, and we have to know. The beauty is we should understand that no matter what pleasure exists in the material world, that pleasure that people get is completely insignificant from what you get in spiritual life. That is how devotees are able to give up, meat-eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, because they're getting param-disharmony. They're getting higher taste. And it may take some time, but if you're sincere and you continue, you'll see that the taste you get on the spiritual platform supersedes, far excels any taste you get on the material platform. Even devotees who try to fall away, they want to forget Krishna, they can't, because Krishna haunts them. That taste haunts them. If you eat Krishna Prasad, even if it's the most simplest khichdi, then you fall away as a devotee. And you eat, sin, non-offered food, you'll find that taste of that Krishna Prasad, you cannot forget. Even of the simplest khichdi. Because that food that Prasad had devotion. Okay. Now, you don't need to go test it out. We already have devotees that tried and tested that out. We just have to take it from their experience. Prabhupada said that's the best way to learn. 3 ways to learn. Okay. First way, the parents will tell, don't steal. Okay. And yes, no stealing. Thank you. Second way, that's the best way. Second way, don't steal. You don't learn, you go steal. You get caught. You get prisoned. You come out of prison and you learn your lesson. I shouldn't have stolen. Yes, I'm not going to steal. Third way, which Prabhupada says we don't recommend at all. At least first 2 is good. First, best. Second, okay. But third, definitely not an option. They tell you, you steal, you get punished. You come out, they tell you, you steal, you get punished. You come out, they tell you, you steal, you get punished. And you go on and on and on. That's not a very intelligent person. Yeah. Kamlesh, question. Yes. Oh. So in the holy dham, anyone who's born in the holy dham are special. Okay. They may not be equal in the sense that human beings have greater credits than animals. And some special animals may have even greater credits than those who are there. Okay? But generally, those who perform sinful activities in the dham can be born as animals in the next life. But if you are born as any species in the dham, that is very special, and that's last birth. So therefore, we should be very careful how we deal with anyone in the dham. Yeah, they're very unique and special. There's a video clip of a dog that goes every day to the Ujjain temple and prays to the deities before, early in the morning. So there's, they're like that. They're special souls. They're special entities. Yeah, and even monkeys and Prabhupada, makes it very clear that a lot of people, they have this consciousness that, okay, I'm going to have a child. I'll go to the dham and I'll have a child. Yeah, that's not very good. Yeah, and those who want to break the principle in the dham, they become monkeys. So Krishna does punish them, but he punished them, in the dham. So they do get the mercy, because the holy name is vibrating everywhere, right? So even as an animal, you have to keep hearing the holy name. So you do get the blessing still, but they're not equal in that sense, because they're still on different levels. Yeah, is that okay?
When you said that people do everything else besides Krishna consciousness, and from my understanding, it's everything else that we do is just to ease the pain from not being.
Yes.
All this technology, everything else, we just distract ourselves because we are so out of Krishna consciousness. There's nothing else for us.
Yes. So we need something to fill the void, and these things at least help us to some degree. But only Krishna can fill the void that's there, and we can use these things for preaching the message of the Lord. And we see Prabhupada and the Acharyas, they did that. Prabhupada was expert in using technology, using everything. No previous Acharya went to the West because they never flew. And they didn't want to cross over the ocean because it's inauspicious. See, Prabhupada, used technology, used the ship, use the planes, use the dictaphone in questioner service. So technology can be used, but you have to be questioner conscious to be able to use them valuably, because if you're not questioner conscious and you put those technologies in your hand, you can it can impact you if you don't use it appropriately. Yes.
So to be less susceptible to the smoking atmosphere, which must be spiritually strong.
Correct. Yeah. So because the soul killing civilization is there, then I want to go to a iśāvāsya civilization. I want to associate and be an environment where this thing doesn't exist. Right? Like that's why you find like devotee farms, for example. They're very conducive for spiritual life. Because firstly, in many of these farms, right, they're in the outskirts. If you look all around you, what do you see? Green. You don't see any cities. So even if you wanted to go to a place, it's going to be like a tedious journey, 6 hours you have to travel. Imagine if Durban was the only place you had to buy things. Right? For me just to buy something and travel 6 hours, forget it. I'll rather stay without it. Right? So it's like that. So in some places, yes, they have internet, but maybe they just use the internet for communicating, etc. But if you live self-sufficiently with everything there, Prabhupada said, live the land, have the fruits, vegetables, milk, and rest of the time chant Hare Krishna. So if you have a community that only focuses on that, it becomes very easy. And if your intention is to be Krishna conscious. Remember, if your intention is not to be Krishna conscious, that environment will be like volatile. You don't want to be there. You're going to be fighting it. See? You rather would sleep, right, than not be engaged, because you don't want to be there. That's dangerous. And that's what Prabhupada said. If somebody wants to stay in an ashram or in those farm projects, and if they don't want to work hard and they don't understand this, then it's better for them to be outside and work hard, because then they can experience what it is like outside. Because sometimes it's like if devotees are full-time in the temple, they're full-time in the temple and they thinking, maybe I'm better outside. And those who are outside, who are sincere, they thinking, maybe I'll be better, inside. Okay? The one who's outside thinking I'm better inside, he's in a good position, because he's fearing this soul-killing civilization. And he wants to get good association to be Krishna conscious. The one who has the facility to be completely Krishna conscious whole day with association, if he's thinking of the outside, he's in the wrong place. Yeah. Okay. He's not going to, in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna takes him to be a riven cloud. You're not materially fixed and you're not spiritually fixed. You're in between. That's a very, very volatile and dangerous and emotionally traumatic situation. It's either you convince about spiritual life, or rather, if you're not, be convinced of material life. You'll be safer. But in between, you don't know where you fit. That's very dangerous. So these projects which are focused on Krishna consciousness, that environment is very conducive for bringing people, growing people, children, and to be Krishna conscious. Because everywhere you look, devotees are engaged. There's no Maya is minimal in that sense there. Yeah.
One that goes and stay in the city should preach, because
that gives them protection. Yeah. Those who preach, they're protected by Krishna against the influence, because they're frontline soldiers. So the frontline soldiers must be protected. So they protect them by the morning sadhana. Okay, that morning sadhana gives them that shield, so they can go out, fight Maya. Just like I have a shield. So then I'm getting all the bullets, right? And the bullets, denting the shield, but it's not going in. And just it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Just before the bullet's going to penetrate, you back home. You have Sandhyarati, some nice association, Bhagavad Gita. You shield yourself, ready for the next morning. Insulation. So in that way, you protect yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, you go without the shield, you're going to get bulleted all over. You get holes. You become holy the wrong way. Okay. Not very conducive. Yeah.
My spiritual master told us, when you go to a land that's diseased, like for example India,
Mm.
into the place. They said similarly, material world in the society, the soul-killing society, is like that. So you have to insulate yourself with a strong moral program wherever you are.
Yeah. So you have to insulate yourself. Yeah. The material world is bhavaroga, disease.
Like in Moses, we never had cell phone. Just recently, in the 1980s, we didn't have cell phones.
Nothing.
There was no internet. There was, if you wrote a letter to your spiritual master, it would come by. The reply comes by post. So we wait for it. There's no instant thing.
Yeah. And you get a letter, it's like, wow, got a letter. It's like rare. Yeah?
So in your spare time, you couldn't go on Facebook or you couldn't do things like that. You had to take a book, sit with a friend and read. Or go sit in the library and watch one of the ISKCON ITV movies or Krishna movies like that.
So
Things were limited, but hey, we survived peacefully and happily. That was a good.
So now the facility of technology can give you more Krishna consciousness. At the same time, it can give you more, non-Krishna consciousness at the same time. It's a double-edged sword. Yeah, it's how you use it.
Those are self-sustaining. Don't those stories also
Yes,
what's the point of
true. But remember, yes, not all of them, right? Because somebody has to do the farming, and it's hard work. Somebody has to look at the cows, right? So there's a lot of activity to be done, And then if the deities are there, then you have to do deity service. Okay, so yes, most of the devotees are involved in the farm project, but a lot of them are doing outreach, bringing people, showing them how to live, going out. So yeah, it's the goal. The objective is to provide a wonderful facility with the goal of propagation, preaching. The mission is preaching. Yeah, you're preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita. So you're living Bhagavad Gita. This is what Bhagavad Gita teaches. This is how we do it. This is how we're living. Yeah. Perfection in human life. So if you want to say, okay, I'm a human being, now how can I measure my human perfection? We are given this human form of life not to work hard like asses, swines, and dogs, but to attain the highest perfection of life. If we do not care for self-realization, the laws of nature force us to work very hard, even though we may not want to do so. Human beings in this age have been forced to work hard like the asses and bullocks that pull carts. So a lot of people don't like to work hard. But if you don't want to surrender to Krishna, you will have to work hard somewhere along the line. You cannot avoid it. Now, it's not that devotees don't work hard. Okay? It's like that thing, okay, so devotee's life is easy then. No. Prabhupada says 24 hours for a devotee is not enough. Okay? So the devotee is not lazy. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes to Arjuna some of the qualities that are detrimental to spiritual life. One of the qualities is laziness. Laziness has no room in spiritual life. If you're lazy, you're not going to make it materially, and you're not going to make it spiritually. Right? So laziness has to be uprooted. We cannot be lazy in spiritual life. It requires effort and requires hard work. But the hard work done for Krishna compared to the hard work for your thankless boss, for your boss who exploits, for the boss who's not a devotee, that's far more painful than the hard work for Krishna. The hard work for Krishna is actually very blissful. It's very satisfying. It's like when we're hosting festivals, there's, most of the festivals we hosted, like in Indonesia, I remember Lord Nityananda's appearance there. In fact, when we started there, the first Janmashtami, we had absolutely zero money. And we had to go door to door, collecting, fundraising for the festival. So we had to cultivate people, convince them, tell them to support, and then slowly it started. I remember one of the Lord Nityananda's appearance day festival, there was so much anxiety because when you're arranging festivals, you make sure everybody, the guests come, they have they serve nicely. So there's so much anxiety, but the festival, by the mercy of the Lord, goes nicely and everyone becomes inspired. And at the festival, you can't sleep because the mercy is so intense that you can't sleep. And it's so rewarding. And Hilbra, we would have till morning Mangalati. Few devotees would, like especially Radha Ashtami, different festivals. 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, everyone's gone. Then we got a few more hours to have kirtan till 4 o'clock. Then we continue with the program. So the point is, hard work is there. But the hard work for Krishna is blissful. And you don't feel it hard. It's like if you love something you're doing, you can work for hours and hours and hours and you're not going to feel it. But if you hate something, even the few seconds, few moments, few minutes that you spend becomes like years. Right? It's the nature of time. Even the gopis, one moment's separation from Krishna feels like 12 years or more. See? Because they love with Krishna, so that separation from Krishna, even for a moment, is like a long time. Yeah, one blink of an eyelid is such a waste of time. They curse Brahma. Whereas we spend billions of lifetimes separated from Krishna and we think, it's okay. Not a problem. It's like just a little. It's not like a lot, just a little. Whereas they find just a little time spent away from Krishna is such a waste of time. So we have to constantly remind ourselves of our objective, our intention, our goal. And yes, even though our intention, our goal is to surrender to Krishna, you cannot be negligent and irresponsible of your duty, of the process. Okay? You can't just say, okay, I'm going to let go everything. Because you can let go everything, but you cannot let go your anarthas. You cannot let go your bad habits. You want to let go your bad habits, they don't want you to let go. They'll hold on to you. Okay, you have to purify yourself. That's why in the yoga ladder, it's a gradual process of renunciation, of detachment. And the positive aspect of gradual detachment is gradual attachment to Krishna. So really we want to gradually become more and more and more and more and more attached to Krishna. We want to become Krishnatized. Completely. Not magnetized, but Krishnatized. Completely. Your consciousness, your mind, your thinking, your words, your speech, everything need to be Krishnatized. Yes.
Why does Krishna allow for separation with his devotees? I understand to some extent he allows for separation to happen so they can increase their attachment. But by constantly doing that, how is that? How does it increase the attachment? Whereas he just does it once or twice, whatever. Do the devotees in the spiritual world also lose that attachment for him over time? So then he causes that separation so they can get detached.
No. So separation makes the heart go fonder. Right? And in the spiritual world, separation and meeting enhances each other. So when Krishna separates from his devotees, they only separate from him physically. He cannot separate from them in the heart. In fact, when he separates from themselves physically, they become more attached to him. Okay, and that attachment, which increases, intensifies the taste of meeting. If they always met, then it wouldn't be that exciting. So Krishna, in the spiritual world, that separation and meeting is there to keep increasing that attachment. and there is no limit to that attachment. It doesn't decrease, but there's no limit to its increasing. It can increase and increase and increase because Krishna is unlimited and his love is unlimited. So that separation and meeting, or even obstacles, in spiritual there's obstacles. Jotila, Kotila, Abhimanyu, they all put obstacles. So they putting obstacles is basically enhancing the taste, the mellow, the relationship, the experiences between Krishna and his devotees. Krishna says, I prefer the harsh words of Jotila and Kotila, the bad mouthing of Jotila and Kotila, than the glorification coming from the Vedas. Yeah, because they creating the obstacles which actually intensifies. When they create obstacles, then the lover and beloved wants to get together even more. So the separation in the spiritual actually enhances. In the material world, separation, can lead to forgetfulness. Absent makes the heart, they say, out of sight, out of mind. Right? So a person goes out and now, how they look? I don't know. You forget. So that's the danger of the material world, not in the spiritual. Because in the spiritual, they're already in love with Krishna. And Krishna cannot leave their hearts. Great hope on spiritual path. In Bhagavad Gita 6:41-43, it is stated that a man who enters upon the path of self-realization but does not complete the process, despite having sincerely tried to realize his relation with God, is given a chance to appear in a family of Suchi or Srimat. The word Suchi indicates a spiritually advanced Brahmana, and Srimat indicates a Vaishya, a member of the mercantile community. So if you're on this path, there is no loss or diminution. And if you're on this path and you are sincere, remember, if you're on any path and you're not sincere, you're fooling yourself. You're not going to get anywhere. It's like a student is not sincere about his tests. He's studying. So the parents come and say, "You're studying." Yeah, I'm studying. And what's going to happen? He's going to fail. So it looks like he's studying. Maybe cell phone there, maybe a comic there, right? Look like he's paying attention, but he's not. So he's not sincere. If we're sincere, and individually we need to revive that sincerity by removing all the doubts that may be plaguing us. Each individual soul, each individual person has doubts. And your doubts may be different from my doubts. Each individual has doubts that stop them from fully surrendering. So what's stopping you from fully surrendering? Remove those doubts through inquiry, through questioning. And the more you remove the doubts, the more sincere you'll be. And if you're sincere, Krishna knows that. He's right in your heart. So even though you got your textbook, and you got your comic, and your parents can't see, he can see. You're behind doors, your parents can't see, he can see. Right? You have your bead bag and you're just moving it, make like you chanting, he can see. So you can't fool Krishna. At the same time, if you're sincere, Krishna can see that sincerity. And Krishna rewards. In fact, Krishna more than rewards. Prabhupada says you take one step to Krishna, he takes 10 to you. He's more eager for us to go back than we want to go to him. So Krishna is eager. At the same time, he's not a fool. You can't, chant, see Krishna, you saw chanting. For 1 week and then next week you don't, do some nonsense. So Krishna will know, Krishna knows our He's been with us for long enough to know us. Therefore, he will test us. Okay? He will see if you're really persistent and you're serious. But if you're serious, and even if you don't make it this life, next life, Krishna will give you a birth in either a Brahmanical family of Brahmanas or a wealthy family of devotees. But you'll be born in a devotee family where you don't need to work hard. The spiritual values will be already there from birth, or opulence will be there from birth, which will help you and facilitate you to continue. It can be dangerous, again, if the association is bad and the environment is bad. But generally, if you're sincere, Krishna will provide a facility. Therefore, for a devotee, he has no fear about death. He knows once he's on this path, there is absolutely no destruction. Nothing can destroy your spiritual practice besides offenses opera to devotees. So if you avoid offenses to devotees, then really no material circumstance. Nectar Devotion says, no material circumstance can destroy your spiritual life. Even if there's a nuclear explosion. Let's say you're in the middle of Gauteng, an atomic bomb explodes all across the universe, right? The planet. Now, you know what happens when a nuclear explosion is there? The power of that nuclear bomb is so forceful. That wind, that explosion, it's like, the force of that and its heat. So it's intense heat with wind will practically burn everything to the ground. Everything just goes shh. So there you are, an explosion happens, right? And it so happened that when explosion happened, you were bowing down. So now you get up, and when you get up, what do you see? Destruction. Maybe your body is also gone, right? But if you were chanting, then that can never be burnt. So your practice of chanting, whether there's a nuclear bomb or after nuclear bomb, can never be taken. Your spiritual credits can never be destroyed. It's always there eternally. The beauty of our spiritual account is the more you use it, the more you get. So there's no diminution. It's a wonderful investment of our time and energy in the right direction. Concluding verses, slides. So we want to follow in the footsteps of great souls like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada says, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an ideal guru. He was not a sannyasi, he was a grihastha, householder, living with family, wife, children. Still he was guru. He followed the iśāvāsya principle perfectly. In spite of his becoming a responsible magistrate, a householder, he had 14 children. Magistrate. He was an acharya. Srila Prabhupada on Appearance Day lecture. Between years 1874 and 1893, Thakur Bhaktivinoda followed a rigid schedule, allowing him to manage all his duties and responsibilities along with his studies and writings. He wrote over 100 books, over 100 songs. From 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., he rested. How many hours? 2. Keep counting, right? 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. What do we do during that time? 8 p.m. Sleep. What he's doing? He's writing. He's translating all the Acharya books in Bengali. Why would someone spend that time when we're sleeping, like Prabhupada, they're writing? Extremely compassionate. We worried about our sleep, they worried about the souls that are sleeping. Totally different level of consciousness. And not doing it, His souls, I don't know why they have to stay in a material world with, depriving us of sleeping. Can't they get their act together? We want to sleep also. No, they blissfully doing it. Then 4 a.m. to 4:30 rest. So total hours of rest, 2.5 hours. From 4:30 to 7 a.m. chanting japa. So 2.5 hours. Then for 3.5 hours. 7 a.m. to 7:30 correspondence. 7:30 to 9:30 study Shastra. Duplicate. 9:30 to 10 a.m. Baith Sambhu Prasad. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. court duties. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also worked. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. refresh at home. 2 to 5 court duties. So he worked from 10 to 1, 2 to 5. 5 to 7 translate Sanskrit Shastra to Bengali. And 7 to 8 Baith and Sambhu Prasad. And this was his schedule every day. Okay. So you can see very clearly his focus was spiritual. His focus was Krishna in the center.
The 3 hours in court.
Yeah.
You do a case right in court.
Most
What
people,
do you do?
he would do it in 30 minutes and complete. He would get so many cases and he would close so many cases because he was astute. What took many people to make decisions, he could make it immediately, because of his Krishna consciousness. It empowered him. And he would, do all his cases at 1 o'clock, even at 5 o'clock, he would leave. 5 o'clock sharp, he's out of there. And, the other lawyers would complain that he's leaving early. Because they're working till, they have to do the cases, they have to do a homework, and they take like 7 o'clock, they're still busy. So they complained to the boss. The boss called Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and said, you're leaving 5 o'clock, others are complaining. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you want my time, or you want my association, or you want time, or you want my work? What you want? No, we want your work. I'm doing my work. Done. Sealed.
Okay. Vaishnava association is very important. As far as I know, one has to have Vaishnava association.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So does it only conform for devotees of bhaktas, or and it doesn't apply to my guys? How does this?
So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was getting Vaishnava association from 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. every day. Plus he was getting from 5 to 7. Plus during correspondence, people would come visit him. Yeah. Like when we read Prabhupada's books, we're getting Prabhupada's association. Yeah. So when devotees would come, they would be with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So during these times, because of his court duties and as a family man, this was his schedule. His focus was obviously writing. But that's where he was getting his association. And so it's not that he's not associating. Yeah, daily he's associating. Just a different form of association. Yeah. So
Obviously, we can't that we have to associate. So it's more conducive for us.
Well, if you can write from
No.
10 to 4, then it's possible. But if you can't, then yes, then we have to take the normal form of association that Prabhupada gave us. Correct. Yeah. Because remember, there may be special cases. I mean, Prabhupada himself was special, right? Everyone is going to take rest after a festival, right? Prabhupada starts to dictate. Okay, so who's forcing Prabhupada to dictate? No one. It is love. Okay, and he's giving that association to others. So devotee association is key. At the same time, we can't imitate Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We have to follow in their footsteps. We can't imitate Srila Prabhupada, we have to follow. So Prabhupada gave us a formula of association, like the morning program, evening program, then devotional service during the day. That's all forms of association. Yeah, and that's what we practically apply.
My understanding is also Vaishnava Aparad is it's one of the very detrimental to progress. Even my understanding that neglecting a Vaishnava or Vaishnava association is on offense. Some form.
Yes. So remember, you want to associate right? But not be offensive and disrespectful. If you say, okay, I don't want to associate because then I don't need to commit offenses, then that's not going to be purifying enough. If I'm just with my karmi friends, then I'm a pure devotee in their midst, right? That doesn't help. But if I'm with devotees, they rub me a little, they purify me a little, right? So I need to become a little humble, but at the same time, I'm respectful. And I need to associate with like-minded devotees, not all devotees. Okay? If you associate with all devotees, that may not be the best thing. Lord Kapila in Bhagavatam describes devotees in 3 different modes. So I have to be selective in associating, like-minded, that inspire me. At the same time, I'm respecting every devotee, including the ant. So I'm not disrespecting even the ant. At the same time, I'm not offensive to anyone. I understand that everyone is on their different journey, including me. But collectively, when we come together, we want to put Krishna in the center. Yeah, is that okay?
When one reads the schedules and it can become very easy to try to put oneself in that situation prematurely. When we were in Hillbrow, we had computers where the one with the disk those days.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, floppy.
Floppy disk type of computer. So we had to produce an annual magazine, a glossy magazine for the temple. He was the computer honorary student, so we gave him that job. So he would have to, we make one mistake, it takes so long, the computer takes so long, so many things. So he was sleeping for 2 hours a day, a night. So, and fully engaged during, like over like a busybody during the day. So one sannyasi, came to was coming, and then the sannyasi would ask him, kind of took a liking to him and asked him, "You want to tell the story?" One sannyasi came, and the sannyasi said to him, "So how many hours you sleeping?" He said, 2 hours. They said, "You can make it 1." so then when his spiritual master came, so then he was happy that present his schedule to the spiritual master, and the spiritual master asked, "How are you engaged in Krishna's service?" In those days, life was very different. The gurus took very personally into dinner. So then he asked him, "So how are you doing? What's your schedule like?" So I told him the schedule. He said, "What I told you? Don't even."
So then the spiritual master said, don't pretend. Sleep 6 hours a day. So then I had to sleep 6 hours a day. Yeah. So he could see something that I possibly couldn't see. Right? So he was protecting me from something that may distract me. I may have become proud, etc. So then the Guru gave order. Sleep 6 hours. So I sleep 6 hours. So, conclusion, your choice. Okay? You want to be the killer of the soul or not? You decide. If you want to kill the soul one day, not the other day, 1 hour, not hour, you decide. Right? 1 year, next year, it's all up to us. If you kill of the soul, you'll get this ease, this harmony, this trust, this satisfaction, disruption, destruction. All the things that becomes dysfunctional for us. Okay, that's called incompleteness. And this is what you get in the present time. This is what you get now. Okay, but somebody said, okay, it's only now, but no, even in the future when you go to the hellish planets. So you get 2 reactions. One is current through all these forms. You get all these things. And with this, you also get karma bandhana, which means birth and death. And in between birth and death, you get old age and disease. And adi devik and adi bautik and adhyatmic suffering. So you get all the suffering. And after this birth, you get suffering in hellish planets. So you get both suffering while you're living and after death. So we don't want to be uneasy in any way. We don't be, we want to experience ease, we want to experience harmony, we want to experience trust, we want to experience satisfaction, we want to experience ecstasy, eruption of ecstasy. We want to, be complete with Krishna. If you want to do that, we follow the iśāvāsya principle. And therefore, Prabhupada concludes. The conclusion is that as human beings, we are meant not simply for solving economic problems on a tottering platform, but for solving all problems of material life into which we have been placed by the laws of nature. So solve every problem. You have bodily issues, family issues, financial issues, emotion issues, world issues, any issues. You can solve it by Krishna consciousness. Surrender to Krishna and all your problems will be solved. It will take some time, but at least you're on the right journey, right track, moving in the right direction. And because we are on the right track, right journey, right direction, we are inspired. If you're moving in the wrong direction, wrong journey, no success, then there'll be only frustration, more and more and more. Any questions or comments anyone has? Yes.
Let's say you surrender to Krishna and you're on this journey now to return back to body. It means that you're not going to get into karma all at once. You're going to burn out. If you have to burn it up, let's say over the next 10, 20, 30 minutes.
So
you're not surrendering.
no, so you don't experience all your karma. Firstly, Krishna says, oh, you want to surrender to me? Oh, wonderful. Okay, I'll give you a discount. He already burns chunk of it without you even experiencing it. Okay, so this is first bonus you get. You buy a package, you get bonuses. First bonus. Krishna minimizes your karma. Then you chant, you visit Tulsi Devi, you see Tulsi Devi, you go around Tulsi Devi, you see the deity, you put tilak, you take prasad, you see other devotees, your karma just get burned. Yeah. If we, unfortunately, we don't have a thermometer, but if we had to have a thermometer that rings, like a bell, like an instrument that measures how much your karma is burning, that bell will never stop ringing. That's how much karma is burning. We'll get a little bewildered because we'll be thinking, when is it going to stop? This is just moving. That means how much karma we got. See? So, like Vivek sent a question, that if I go to hellish planets and I get burnt, I get punished for my karma, how come I come back and I still have, suffering? Because you just went to burn off some karma, not all your karma. You got in one life, just consider in one day. They calculate the karmis, you get 40 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. You get many. Let's take it that you get 60,000 thoughts. Are they Krishna conscious or not? For every thought you get a reaction. So just thinking a thought, you get a reaction. What about what you say, what you do, what you feel? So the reaction, killing ants, living entities, reactions are unlimited. And we've been through billions of lifetimes. So there's no shortage of reaction. And I may burn some of my reaction this life, I'm still coming. Bhagavatam says, even if you have to stop the karma wheel, that you don't get any more reaction going forward, you live for billions and billions and billions and billions of lifetime burning of karma. Because you have a whole mount of Sumeru of karma. Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge burden. And the beauty is that no other process can burn off karma like the devotional process of chanting and surrendering in devotional service. So all those activities, they burn off. You're not even suffering that. You're just burning it off. And now and then you cut your finger, you hit your toe, something happens, devotee says something bad to you. And now and then that happens. Krishna gives you some karma, but even that's minimized. And then, as you progress and the intensity of your progression, of your service, Krishna then nullifies accordingly. And then Krishna will decide what to do with, if Krishna says, okay, no, I think we just give him full dose now. Then Krishna can give full dose, however that's going to come. Burn it off one shot. So for each individual, Krishna deals individually. Krishna knows how much we can handle. Krishna knows what we got. Krishna knows how to sort it out in different time span. Yeah. Okay.
Our last birth, I'm not sure I read it somewhere. Our last birth will take birth on the planet.
Yes.
Krishna is.
Correct.
So, if Krishna, well, Krishna's name and his name, same, holy name, maybe that's not the same association as physically being our last birth with Krishna on the planet before we go back.
So our journey with Krishna, our goal is to meet Krishna face to face. Right now, because we're envious of Krishna, we cannot meet Krishna face to face. But Krishna's holy name is merciful, that we can chant and associate with Krishna. But because I'm not pure enough and not surrendered enough, I don't realize. My realization is not complete. I don't realize that I'm associating with Krishna. That's why I can be distracted. That's why my mind can go elsewhere. And my mind itself is a challenge. So even though I know that, oh yeah, Krishna and holy name are not different, but mind got its own mind. And it wants to go, right? So what I do is I beg the holy name, and the holy name will reveal my identity as I progress. The most important thing the holy name does initially is first verse of Shishastikam. Chetodarpana Marjanam. It cleanses. This is first thing. And there's a lot to cleanse. So it's a long journey of cleansing. Cleansing. And then the other 6 different benefits of the holy name. Knowledge, awareness, bliss, etc. comes. As I progress, this is what happens. Then, second verse. As I'm getting more cleansed, then I enter into the second verse. Second verse is Nam Namakari Bodha Nijashar Saktis. That I understand that the holy name is non-different from Krishna, it's all potencies. And I become more surrendered to the holy name. As I progress, I go to the third verse. And the third verse is Trinada Pisunichena. I recognize I'm insignificant. And I respect all. I don't expect any in return. And at that point, Kirtanya Sadahari, I can chant 24 hours a day. Day and night, I'm so attached to Krishna, I cannot stop chanting. At that point, then revelation of Krishna, our identity begins. So that initial stage, we're going to be with the holy name, and the holy name will reveal until we become insanely in love with the holy name. And at that point, we recognize that, hold on, this is Krishna. Yeah, that's where we'll see that they're non-different. So it's a journey. Yeah, and that journey will unfold by the mercy of the holy name. There we go. Okay, we shall stop there and continue next week with mantra 4. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.